Today I'm behind the wheel of a brand new 2021 Lexus NX 300. And the NX 300 is the popular luxury compact SUV from Lexus, and it's coming to an end. Well, at least for this generation. The very first generation of NX debuted back in 2015, and now it's 6 years later, and Lexus is getting ready to debut the second generation in 2022. So for this final year, Lexus only added a few small touches, a few more standard features to make the NX stay competitive within the segment. So in 2021, is this NX 300 still any good? Can it still keep up with the competition? That's what I'm here to find out. So if you're interested, let's get started. Let me show you everything there is to know about this brand new 2021 Lexus NX 300. Before I get started, I want to give a big thanks to McGrath Lexus of Westmont. They made this video possible. So if you're in the market for a brand new or used Lexus, check out this dealership. Their URL is in the description of this video and on the screen. Starting with the outside, this NX 300 F Sport looks every bit as modern and stylish as others in this class. The large spindle grille design, along with the chin spoiler below and the Nike swoosh daytime running lights, all blend in very well. And colors like this ultrasonic blue mica 2.0, yes, a mouthful, really makes this NX pop. All NX trims get bi-LED headlights, daytime running lights, and fog lights. The side profile of the NX is also very sleek with great use of chrome/aluminum around the windows and the roof rails. The power folding mirrors are painted black on this F Sport, and the 18-inch wheels are also F Sport specific. What you don't see behind the wheels is the Sport Tune suspension that is exclusive for the F Sport. The back of the NX 300 features a shark fin antenna, spoiler, LED taillights with black inserts, and dual chrome exhaust finishers on the bottom. The tailgate is powered and hands-free feature is optional. Inside the trunk, you'll notice the chrome sill plates, which look pretty darn good, and a good amount of trunk space. However, there isn't any nets or cubby holes besides the first aid kit. Underneath the bottom cover, there's a little bit of storage space. On top, you also have a hanging privacy cover. With the second row folded down, cargo room increases substantially, but the seat backs don't fold down as flat as some of the others in this class. Inside the NX, the seating surface is called Nulux, which is basically leatherette. Real leather is available, but only with the luxury trim, unfortunately. Passengers only receive a pair of vents, and that's it. No climate controls, nor any kind of charging ports. As for space, I'm 5 feet 10 and I have only about 2 to 3 inches of legroom behind my driving position and about the same with headroom. The seats do not slide, but they do recline. Moving to the front, the NX cabin does show its age. The dash is a bit noisy and filled with a bit too much plastic. The F Sport steering wheel feels great with perforated leather on both sides, and it has the right thickness and feel. Buttons on the left side control the info screen and some of the safety features, and buttons on the left control phone, voice commands, volume, music modes, and scrolling. There are also paddle shifters behind the steering wheel. The gauge cluster is pretty standard, although the speedometer and tachometer, they both have a nice aluminum ring around them, which looks pretty nice. The 4-inch screen can display things such as your trip computer, your music, safety systems, and other useful info. Now the buttons to the left of the steering wheel control the auto high beam feature, blind spot monitoring, power liftgate, heated steering wheel, and center locking differential. Now moving to the 8-inch infotainment screen, this could use updating. The interface, brightness, responsiveness, and refresh rate are all below the competition. The screen is not touch and the system has to be controlled using the Lexus touchpad and a few buttons. It's a frustrating system to say the least. However, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as well as Amazon Alexa are all standard. Below the infotainment screen you have climate control, usual stuff with temperature control on both sides, fan control, auto functionality, defroster option. There's also heated and ventilated seats, although the buttons for them are quite small for some reason. There is still a CD player in this NX along with volume and tune knobs. There are also 3 driving modes, Eco, Normal, and Sport, and you have buttons for traction control, brake hold, and parking brake. And you still get a regular shifter with manual shifting. The NX300F Sport also comes with active sound control, which pipes in exhaust noise when you accelerate. But if you didn't like that, you can turn it off. There's also 2 cup holders, 2 USB ports, and a 12V outlet inside the armrest. And there are HomeLink buttons on the rearview mirror and a moonroof on top. As for engines, all NX non-hybrids are powered by a turbo 2-liter producing 235 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. This engine is mated to a 6-speed auto. The NX300 Hybrid is powered by a 2.5-liter engine producing 194 horsepower. Alright, I'm off. Let's see how good this NX300 is on the road and how it drives. The first thing I want to talk about is how cozy this cabin feels. This NX300 competes directly with the Acura RDX, also the BMW X3, Volvo XC60, the Audi Q5. And this cabin by far is the coziest and it feels like the smallest of the bunch. Now, the reason why I feel it's the coziest and the smallest cabin is really just how things are designed in here. The door panels are a little bit higher, so the windows are a little bit narrower. Same to the dash, a little bit higher. Same thing the center console area. This is very, very, very high up. It almost feels like you're in a sedan, right? So the combination of everything just makes you feel like it's a very cozy cabin. Also makes you feel like it's a small cabin too. So as for visibility and driving position, mixed bag. I've kind of talked about visibility already. The front windshield, very raked, so the field of vision is not as big as some of the others in this class. Same thing with the side windows. Because of how high the door panels are, it kind of cuts into your visibility. The blind spot isn't so good. The C-pillar does cut into a lot of your visibility back there, but the good thing is for 2021, blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert has been added as a standard feature, so it does help with that. And the rear visibility isn't great either. So visibility in here is so-so. It could definitely be better. Now, as for the seating position, it's about average. As for a compact SUV, this is about where you sit. A little bit higher off the ground than a sedan, but not as high as a midsize SUV. So it's okay. So the combination of the two, decent, but could be better. Now, as for the drive, let's start out with the suspension. I'm driving around local roads right now, and I think the F-Sport suspension is doing a good job. Now, F-Sport's a little bit different because suspension is more sport-tuned. However, going around town with these little dips and imperfections still feels pretty good. A little bit more stiff than the regular NX, but overall still feels very good. Steering feels good too, especially with this steering wheel. I really like this steering wheel. This perforated leather steering wheel that only comes on the F-Sport. It looks good and it feels really good. The leather feels good, has good cushioning, but the overall feel is also pretty good. It has a good weight to it, doesn't feel very light. Precision is okay, there's not that much steering play. So I think the steering is good, matched with the suspension, it's a good combination. Now, as for cabin noise, also quite good, well insulated in here. Exhaust, engine, really don't hear anything. Although, a quick note about exhaust, this F-Sport does have active sound control, which you can turn on or off, but it does pipe in fake exhaust noise, and I'm going to see how it is once I test out acceleration. So engine exhaust, very quiet. Also, just outside, you know, cars passing by, slight noise, wind noise, don't really hear it. Road noise, don't really hear it. So this definitely has that Lexus quietness to it. So yeah, it's good. Now, I've been driving around town for a while, and I gotta say the 6-speed auto in here is better than the 8-speed auto in a Lexus RX 350. The 6-speed just it's just so predictable. It's always in the right gear. It shifts correctly. I never feel like this NX is bogged down, and it's just handling everything beautifully. I can't say the same thing about the 8-speed and the RX. And I should know because my wife owns an RX 350, and there's just times where the 8-speed just gets confused and it doesn't do what it's supposed to. Sometimes it just doesn't shift right. So I actually really enjoy the 6-speed, and I'm glad that Lexus didn't upgrade this to an 8-speed in here. Now, as for the cabin, I still think this is a good cabin. Everywhere you feel is still soft plastic or leather, and good use of aluminum, throughout the cabin. There's good contrast. I think the only thing holding it back is this infotainment screen. Now, the one I'm testing is an 8-inch. Doesn't matter if you get an 8-inch or a 10-inch. Neither one is touch. You have to use this touchpad setup, and this is just aggravating. I just don't like it. A touch setup or something that's more like a rotary dial or something like what you would find in a BMW just works a whole lot better. It's a lot easier, a lot less frustrating. So I think the infotainment screen is what really holds this cabin back. Outside of that, everything else is still okay. Little things like the heated seats and ventilated seat buttons, they're very, very small. They could be bigger. So just a few little things here or there. If Lexus updated, I think it'll be great. It'll be what you find in others within this segment. However, this infotainment screen is definitely the one thing that holds it back. As for acceleration, that was okay. This engine is producing 235 horsepower, it's turbocharged, plenty of torque. So right off the bat, plenty of torque. Then it kind of slows down a little bit after 40 miles per hour. But this is more than adequate for most people. Passing, you're not gonna have a problem getting up to speed. You're not gonna have a problem around town. It feels good, it doesn't feel bogged down. So acceleration is good. Now, as for these seats, I normally don't have a problem with sports seats, but the F Sport seats in here, I do have a problem with because I think it's just too aggressive and too small. The back is okay. The bolsters are very aggressive, but it's holding my back. I don't feel very uncomfortable in them. It does hold me in, so I'm not sliding around, which is a good thing. But the bottom is where I have a problem with. The bolsters on the bottom cushion is very narrow, so my thigh is just, it can't fit. It's stretching it out. My thigh is stretching it out, and it just doesn't feel comfortable. I always feel constant pressure near the sides. Unfortunately, that's how F Sport seats are like. My wife, I mentioned, has a RX 350 F Sport, and the seats look gorgeous. Red sports seats look gorgeous. However, they don't feel that good, at least not when I'm driving. I just feel like they're too narrow and too aggressive and too small. Unfortunately, in this NX 300, it's the same situation. So if you're looking at an F Sport, definitely go for a test drive. Test out these seats. Because if you're on the bigger side, like me, you're not gonna like these seats. But if you're on the smaller side and your butt and thigh can fit inside, then you're probably gonna like it. So definitely try it for yourself.
As for safety features, the 2021 NX comes with Lexus Safety System Plus 2.0, and this includes pre-collision system with pedestrian detection, lane tracing assist, lane departure alert with steering assist, road sign assist, all-speed dynamic radar cruise control, and intelligent high beams.
Next up, let me talk about the trim levels and pricing and give you my final thoughts on this brand new NX 300.
As for pricing, the base 2021 Lexus NX 300 front-wheel drive starts around $37,510. Add an all-wheel drive and it goes up to a tad under $39,000. Now, the NX 300F Sport with all-wheel drive, which is the one I'm reviewing today, starts over $41,000. And the NX 300 Luxury with all-wheel drive tops out at over $45,000. If you're looking for hybrid, both come with all-wheel drive standard. The base is above $40,000 and the luxury tops out over $46,000. To conclude, the 2021 Lexus NX 300 is still a great compact luxury SUV. The F-Sport looks fantastic on the outside and adds on worthy upgrades to differentiate it from the other trims. The NX 300 also has nice road manners, has a quiet cabin, a really good transmission along with a good engine. There's also a good amount of standard features and safety features. And let's not forget that NX has Lexus reliability and a high resale value. However, the infotainment screen with the touchpad setup really needs an upgrade. The NX 300 is also smaller than its rivals and lacks USB ports in the second row. The cabin also looks a bit dated and the F-Sport seats are just too aggressive and is uncomfortable. Overall, I'm giving the brand new 2021 Lexus NX 300 F-Sport a score of 94. To see where it ranks among its peers, check out driversonlyrankings.com. Hit the like and subscribe to the channel and check out these other cars that compete with the NX 300.